Welcome back to another monthly progress video. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Kaylee. I'm working on my second graphic novel and documenting the process. I switched up my setup a little bit. So we're here with my grandma. I love this photo of her. She was with her dad and she's just got the best outfit. And I love the little cigarette. She was very sassy. I want to thank everyone for the comments that they leave. They're so sweet, and a friend of mine was telling me the other day, I had no idea she would even watch these videos. I didn't think they were up her alley, but she was like, the comments are so nice. They make me happy, so thank you for commenting. Of course, I read everyone, so appreciate that. If you're working on a graphic novel and you want to let people know of any resources or materials that you love, that you find helpful, please leave those comments down below as well. I'm sure that would be helpful to more people than just me. I'm really excited to show you these pages. Let's get into it. If you watched last month's video, episode 2, we left off on a page that I ended up redoing completely. The text reads, "Underneath the surface of life." And this has hands going into water, and beneath the hands are fish passing by. When I was a kid, I would have these recurring dreams of falling from very high bridges into the water, and underwater I would be just surrounded by these, I don't think they were fish, they were like prehistoric sea creatures. That's always been both a nightmare and a daydream to me. It was really cool. It was also really scary at times. So this kind of refers to that for me. Before this moment, the main character is on a rooftop and water begins to wash over her shoes with fish in the water. So it goes from that to these hands, her hands, reaching into what is now an ocean. Being on your own and feeling this greater presence surrounding you. To me, the ocean is a great way to symbolize that. I'm glad that I redid it because I just wasn't 100% happy with the first version of this. So that's number 1. Number 2 says, I watched something silently move. The main character's in the ocean, the fish are now in the sky, and something that was really fun to do was these shadows on the fish scales. Yeah, this was just trippy. There's no like very deep meaning to this. I just thought it was trippy and fun, and I love drawing stuff like this. So it was really just for the pleasure of it. This one says, there was a voice I could only hear in the quiet. I really liked doing the eyes on this one. In one of my past videos, I was talking about how the advice, play to your strengths, really helped me. And that's something I was thinking about a lot this month because I've been working on improving my skills on subjects that I'm not good at drawing. And this month I just wanted to throw myself a bone and make sure that I was painting things that I really love drawing and that I know I'm good at, or that are a lot easier for me to figure out. I've always been obsessed with drawing eyes, and it's always been really fun to do. So yes, the character is sinking into the water, and I really liked this one. So that's number 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, okay. So this one is, when did I do this? I did this in 2021, and I'm really happy that I kept it. Listen, if you're doing a large project and you've been doing it for years and years, I think that something a lot of us do is keep going over things and redoing them piece by piece. It can get kind of frustrating that way because it feels like you're putting so much work in, but the progress is very slow. In 2021, I was working on, I guess, a version of this book, but I didn't really have the script in place or the storyboards. I was just kind of going in willy-nilly. I made a lot of pages that I didn't like at all, so I sat on it, and then I did my first book, and coming back to the pages that I've sat on, some of them I do really love, and I'm really happy that I can seamlessly integrate them into this book that I'm making. This has some text, but it's in cursive, so that signifies that it's a voice, it's not the overall narration. So it says, "Do what you must upon this earth." The next one is also from 2021. The voice goes on to say, "What only you know is yours to keep." Another reason I really didn't want to let these go and I wanted to include them is because "do what you must upon this earth" is something that a good friend of mine, I think she heard it in a dream. I would go over to her house in Cranston all the time and we would just sit in her yard. One day she pulled out her dream journal 7 years ago at this point, and one of the things that she said when she was reading from it was, "Do what you must upon this earth," or something similar. I think I changed it a little bit, but I was really struck by that phrase. Everything that inspires me in my daily life, I just love putting little pieces of the things that I love into what I create, and it makes it so special to me. Here's the last one from 2021. I also couldn't let go of this. It's got a voice saying "remember," and between the clouds is the shape of an eye that then disappears into the stars. Then we are back on the rooftop, surrounded by clouds. I wanted to include this one. Now that we're back on the rooftop, listening to our iPod Classic. I miss iPod Classic so much, oh my god. The narration reads, "It kept me alive knowing there was a world I belonged to." There are some song lyrics here. Do I still have time? This is from Kanye West's song "Streetlights" from 808s and Heartbreak, which is an underrated album. And I loved it when I was in high school, especially this song. This was my most played song on my iPod. So now we come to my favorite one for this month. Even though we're back in the city, there's still this validation that what had happened in the ocean really was real. So it kind of echoes the text of "it was real to me." Yeah, there's still physical drops of water on her hands. As the drop of water falls, we see a castle reflected. If you watched last month's, I wanted to integrate this castle imagery because I used it in the previous book. The idea of the kingdom we all carry, the inner world that you have inside of you that can feel extremely rich and beautiful as a kid. In this case, the castle is showing up because in moments like these, when I was younger and I was alone with myself, I felt extremely connected and like I belonged to something, which I couldn't really put my finger on. It was just a feeling, and it was a wonderful feeling. So this is my way of representing that, and I'm so happy with this. This is also a reference to Kid Cudi, because if I could choose one artist that changed my life the most in middle and high school, it was Kid Cudi for sure. We've got a little mosquito in here. Get out of here. Oh, life in the South. So for all the Kid Cudi fans out there, there is a line where he goes, "If it's real to you, we can meet on the other side." And that is from Mr. Rager. I worded the caption the way that I did because it's like talking back to that lyric. It was real to me. If there was one person alive that I could have dinner with, I think it honestly would be Kid Cudi, just to thank him for everything that he's done in his music, and he's made such a huge impact on so many people, especially young people. I'd love to make something that helps individuals feel protected and understood in the way that his music made me and so many others feel. This was the month of April, and I had a lot of fun. I'm really excited for the ideas I have moving forward. I'm going to show you a few of those in my storyboard. Okay, so these are the storyboards that I did this month. We've got the first page that I showed you. I watched something silently move. Little drafts of the pages that you saw already. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I have some ideas somewhere else. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Oh, yes, okay. What I really want to do is in Boston and New York as well, like a lot of those cities, walking down the street in New York, every time I look up, I see these like old faces carved into the buildings, which probably have a messed up origin, honestly, but I just want to take that idea and play with it and take it into my own world. I want to have this marble face. I want to show the character walking beneath it, through the alleyway. The text that I'm thinking of will read, "Everything I see, I become." I want the marble statue kind of turning and looking, and human eyes to open. Feeling so connected to things that you feel like you're everything and nothing at the same time in a really comforting way. After that, the narration will read, "I took it for granted." The reason I'm excited to finish the few ideas that I just showed you is once I do, I get to start this whole other section that I have planned. I've planned it since probably 2019 or even 2018. I've had this specific idea in mind of using thread, actual needle and thread stitched into the paper to help explain or describe the process of a young person trying to mask who they really are because they feel they have to. So I'm going to be using this imagery of hands threading a needle and stitching on this mask themselves. We'll get more into that in the coming months when I'm actually working on it, but I'm really excited for that. And these past years I've practiced so much that I feel so much more confident in really doing this idea justice and representing it the way that I want to, the way that I see it in my head. Like I said, some of these ideas that I'm doing now I've had for years. I didn't know if they would fit together or how they would all fit together. I just knew that I wanted to include all of them. And I'm really, really, really grateful for my younger self for just writing them down, even if I didn't know if anything would come to fruition. So make sure to prioritize getting all those great ideas down. If you are at the beginning of an ambitious creative project and you feel intimidated by your own ideas because you're not sure how you'll end up pulling them off, I totally understand, and I've felt that so many times. But what I would like to encourage you to do is to write down your ideas in any way you can, even if it's just on a scrap of paper, because those ideas are gold. If you keep working on this project in whatever way you can, you will build the skills you need to bring those ideas to fruition the way that you want. I have all the faith in you. When I look back at the pages I did in 2018, trust me, I had no idea what I was doing, and I just remember how disappointed I was, how much I wanted to tell this story, and just felt like there was no way I could figure out how to draw all these things. But through the process of just working on it and focusing on what I could do and building my skills and trying to make it as fulfilling as possible in the process, I've gotten to the place where I'm really happy with pretty much everything that I do. And if I'm not, I know that I can redo it and make it better. Those years have given me a lot of confidence and practice in my ability to translate the thoughts that I have and the visions that I have into something tangible that I can actually show. And it's extremely validating to see these deeper emotions that I've had for so long on paper, and also to share them, and also to sort of spin the crap into gold in a way when we're talking about darker emotions. That's something that I've always really loved doing, and it's given me a lot of peace. That has nothing to do with like talent or skill level. That's something that anyone can do at any time and get the same effect from. Anyway, I'm thinking this month I didn't really work on my script much because I'd already pretty much laid it out, so I don't think we'll look at that today. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, in the previous 2 monthly updates I do show the script that I write that has all of the narration. You can take a look at episode 1 and 2. They will be linked after this video ends. Since we do have a little extra time here, I wanted to close out with some words of encouragement to anyone who is working on a large project, working on their art, or honestly just living their life. Because just living your life is a project in itself. If the year or the month has been a bumpy one for you so far and you're feeling a little discouraged, or maybe things are okay and you would just like to hear what you already know from somebody else, I just wanted to remind you that you've got this, and to do what you can to take care of yourself. And I don't mean bubble baths, unless you really like bubble baths. I mean listening to what your inner self is telling you that it needs. It's okay to slow down and take a rest. It's also okay to change direction on either your project or something that you're doing in life. You will survive. I hope that you enjoyed this month's video. If you'd like to see more of my daily process, you can follow me on Instagram. I wish you all the best with whatever projects you're working on. I hope you have a beautiful month, and until next time, take care.